Moving further to the consistency of soil. Consistency is the property of material which shows its resistance to flow. When referred to the soil, it means the degree of resistance offered by fine graded soil to deformation. To a certain extent, it denotes the firmness of the soil. In general terms, soil consistency is described as soft, medium, stiff, very stiff soil. A clay may be almost like a liquid, or it may be hard soil depending upon its water content. So, talking about stages of consistency, a Swedish agricultural engineer Atterberg introduced that a fine grained soil can exist in four stages, namely as liquid state, plastic state, semi solid state, and solid state. The water content at which the soil changes from one state to another state are termed as consistency limit. A soil containing high water content is in liquid state. It offers no shearing resistance and flows like liquids. It has shear strength equal to 0. As water content is reduced, soil start developing resistance to shear deformation. So this diagram, this particular graph shows us the stages of consistency. As we moved from dry soil, that is from solid state, and are adding the water content or adding some amount of water into our sample, the graph of volume of water as well as change in its thickness or changes in hardness becomes moves further and changing its states like solid state, semi-solid state, plastic state, and liquid state. Solid state having dry soil and hard, semi-solid state is stiff, plastic state is maybe firm, soft, or very soft, and liquid state is thick, slurry, thin, slurry, and suspension. Here are some limits of consistency. Very first limit is the water content at which soil passes from one state to another state are known as consistency limit. At Atterberg's, these limits are liquid limit, plastic limit, and shrinkage limit. So starting with liquid limit, that is WL. Liquid limit is the water content corresponding to arbitrary limit between liquid and plastic. State of consistency of soil can be defined as the minimum water content at which the soil is in liquid state but has a small shearing strength against flowing with respect to liquid limit apparatus. Liquid limit is defined as the minimum water content at which two parts of soil cut by a standard groove will flow together under impact of 25 number of blows in the Cassegrain liquid limit device. Second one is plastic limit. It is the water content corresponding to an arbitrary limit between plastic and semi-solid state of consistency of soil. It defined as the minimum water content at which the soil will just begin to crumble when rolled into a thread approximately 3 mm diameter. Third one is shrinkage limit. Shrinkage limit is the water content corresponding to arbitrary limit between solid and semi-solid state of consistency of soil. It is defined as the maximum water content at which a reduction in water content will not cause decrease in volume of soil mass. It is the lowest water content at which the soil can be still completely in saturated condition. Liquidity index, which indicates the nearness of its water content to its liquid limit. It is given by IL, that is liquidity index, which is equal to W minus WP upon IP, where W is water content of soil, WP is plastic limit, and IP is plasticity index. So for which we need to find plasticity index. So moving further to plasticity index, it is the range of water content over which the soil remains in plastic state. Its magnitude equal to the difference between the liquid limit and plastic limit, that is IP is equal to WL minus WP. If plastic limit and liquid limit cannot be determined, the soil is non-plastic. The plasticity index cannot be negative. In such case, it is expressed as 0. Next one is consistency index. It shows the nearness of water content of soil to the plastic limit. It is defined as the ratio or ratio of liquid limit minus natural water content to the plasticity index. Next one is IC, which is consistency index is denoted as IC, which is equal to WL minus W upon IP, where W is liquid limit minus W is equal to water content, and IP, which is equal to plasticity index. Moving to flow index, it is the slope of flow curve obtained between water content and number of blues in Cassegrain method of determination of liquid limit. It is given by IF, which is equal to W1 minus W2 upon log 10 to the base log to the base 10 N2 upon N1, where N2 is number of blues of water content W2 and N1 is the number of blues of water content W1. Next one is toughness index. It is measure of shearing strength of soil as its plastic limit. It is given by toughness index IT, which is equal to IP upon IF, where IP is plasticity index, IF is flow index. The value of toughness index lies between 0 to 3. The value of toughness index less than 1 indicates the soil is friable at plastic limit. It is clear that the lesser the value of flow index IF, higher will be the toughness index and hence toughness. Toughness index less than 1 indicates that soil will crumble easily at plastic limit. Ninth one is shrinkage index. It is defined as the difference of water content between plastic limit and shrinkage limit. IS, which is equal to WP minus WS. So if we want to determine the consistency limit by a different method, we are having three methods like Cassegrain method, cone penetrometer method, and shrinkage limit test. So both the three are included in your practical also. So they are described study or in detail study. We are going to see it in practical only. We will just see their diagram and procedure. So very first one is Cassegrain apparatus. Standard liquid limit device is designed by Cassegrain, is used to find out liquid limit of soil shown in figure. This particular is called as Cassegrain apparatus, having a cup-like structure in between, which is made up of brass and existing screw, and number plate is put over there, and one handle is also placed. So in this bowl-like structure, we have to put our soil, wet soil or soil mix, slurry mix up to 1 centimeter height, and then make a groove between this soil by the means of grooving tools. So here both grooving tools, Cassegrain grooving tool and ASTM grooving tools, both are shown. Cassegrain, when groove is made, this soil looks like bottom first one, and when we apply vibration by the means of handle, then the grooves become gets enclosed to each other, and soil maybe appears like and second one. So what is the practical use of this test? The properties like shear strength, compressibility, permeability. For determine this, we can do Cassegrain test. These properties mostly depend on the value of liquid limit, because increase in the value of liquid limit indicates increase in the shear strength of soil. Liquid limit also helps to classify and identify given soil of sample. Second one is cone penetrometer method. You can see here the front view and section of cone penetrometer method. Here only sample is placed in the container having tin container having height 55 mm and diameter 40 mm thick. A needle is placed over it by which a load is applied. Third is plastic limit determination. Here this method is very much useful or done to determine plastic limit, and which is done by hand only. Here we have to take a glass plate on which a soil sample mixing water is taken, and we have to make threads of the soil. Majorly we need to make 3 mm diameter thread at which that thread can be crumbled. That point at which the thread gets crumbled is your plastic limit point. Next one is shrinkage limit determination. For shrinkage limit determination, we need to take shrinkage dish. The upper two both are shrinkage dish, or sorry, evaporating dish, and the below one, bigger one, is shrinkage dish. So in evaporating dish we need to apply wax, and in which we have to put soil slurry and keep it in a microwave oven at 105 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Then we get the dry pat of our soil. Then in dry pat, this dry pat we have to put again into our shrinkage dish, glass shrinkage dish, and put the proofs over it, and need to determine the values. Moving further towards particle size distribution, the particle size analysis is known as mechanical analysis. It is expressed quantitatively, the proportions by weight of various sizes of particles present in the soil. It is represented graphically on a particle size distribution curve. The mechanical analysis is done in two stages: sieve analysis and sedimentation analysis. Sieve analysis is meant for coarse grain soils, particle size less than 75 micron. Sedimentation is meant for fine grade soils, particle size smaller than 75 micron. Sedimentation analysis is also known as weight mechanical analysis. Particle size smaller than 0.2 micron cannot be determined by the sedimentation method. This can be determined by an electron microscope by X-ray diffraction technique. So here are state particle size, classification of solid. Particle size classification of solid makes them in various parts, like clay, which is less than 2 micron, silt 2 micron to 75 micron, sand 75 micron to 4.75 mm, gravel 4.75 mm to 80 mm, pebbles 80 mm to 300 mm, and boulders, which is more than 300 mm. Moving further to mechanical sieve analysis, the soil is sieved through a set of sieves. Sieves are made up of spun brass and phosphor bronze or stainless steel cloth. According to IS 149/1970, the sieves are designed by the size of square opening in millimeters or micron. The coarse grain soils can further subdivided into gravel fraction, particle size greater than 4.75 mm, and sand fraction, particle size greater than 75 micron but less than 4.75 mm. For gravels, the set of sieves used is 80 mm, 40 mm, 20 mm, 10 mm, and 4.75 mm. For sand, the set of sieves used is 2.36 mm, 2 mm, 1.7 mm, 1.18 mm, 600 micron, 425 micron, 300 micron, and 75 micron. However, all the sieves may not be required for a particular soil. The selection of required numbers of sieves is done to obtain good particle size distribution curve. The sieves are arranged one over the other with decreasing size from the top to the bottom. A lid or a cover is placed at the top of largest sieve. A receiver known as pan, which has no opening, is placed at the bottom of the smallest sieve. Coming towards dry sieve analysis, the soil sample is taken in suitable quantity. The larger the particle size, the more is the quantity of soil required. The soil should be oven dry, it should be pulverized, it should not contain any lump. If it contains organic matter, it can be used for air dry instead of oven dry. The sample is sieved through the set of sieves arranged in descending order of their sieves. The portion written on 4.75 mm sieve is gravel fraction. The portion passed through 4.75 mm sieve and written on 75 micron sieve is sand fraction. These fractions are expressed by weight of original sample to give gravel content and sand content in percentage. The weight of soil portion retained on each sieve and pan is obtained to the nearest 0.1 gram. The weight of the retained soil is checked against the original weight. Dry sieve analysis is suitable for cohesionless soils with little or no fine particles. If sand is sieved in a wet condition, the surface tension may cause an erroneous result. Next is wet sieve analysis. If the soil contains sustainable quantity about more than 5% of fine particles, a wet sieve analysis is done. All lumps are broken into individual particles. A representative sample is taken using rifler and dried in oven. The dried sample is taken in a tray and soaked in the water. If necessary, deflocculating agent like sodium hexamethophosphate at the rate of 2 gram per liter of water may be added. The sample is stirred and left soaking for a period of at least 1 hour. The slurry is sieved through 4.75 mm sieve. The portion retained on 4.75 mm sieve is gravel fraction. The material passing through 4.75 mm sieve is sieved through a 75 micron sieve. The material is washed until the water becomes clear. The material retained on 75 micron sieve is collected and dried in an oven. It is then sieved through the set of the sieves of 2.36 mm, 2 mm, 1.7 mm, 1.18 mm, 600 micron, 300 micron and 75 micron. The material retained on each sieve is weighted and analyzed by as illustrated in the following table. So this is the arrangement of sieves in mechanical sieve analysis. At the upper point we placed 4.75 mm sieve and billowing of 2.36 mm, 2 mm, 1.7 mm, 600 micron, 425 micron, 300 micron, 75 micron and pan is existed. Talking about the stepwise procedure of mechanical sieve analysis, the process of analyzing the particle size present in the soil by using mechanical means is known as mechanical sieve analysis. By performing mechanical sieve analysis, a particle size distribution curve is plotted for grading of soils. So starting with procedure, arrange the set of IS sieve in decreasing order, that is coarser sieve as top and finer sieve at bottom. The IS sieve set must include sieves of size 4.75 mm, 2.36 mm, 1.18 mm, 600 micron, 150 micron and 75 micron. Take 500 to 1000 grams oven dried soil sample and put it on top must sieve. Keep lid and pan at top and bottom respectively. Now shake this assembly of sieve on mechanical sieve shaker for 10 to 15 minutes so that soil sample will be sieved completely. Take the weight of soil mass retained on each sieve separately in grams and calculate percentage finer for each sieve using format. So moving to sedimentation analysis. Moving towards sedimentation analysis, the particles of soil finer than 75 micron cannot be sieved. The particle size distribution of such soils is determined by sedimentation analysis, which is based upon Stokes' law. Pipette method and hydrometer method are the two sedimentation methods in use. So talking about Stokes' law states that the terminal velocity of settling of spherical particle in suspension varies with square of the diameter of the sphere, density and viscosity of the fluid and density of the sphere. So moving toward theory of sedimentation, during initial stage of sedimentation, the soil particles are uniformly dispersed throughout the suspension and the concentration of particles of different sizes is the same at all depths. After certain time at a particular depth, only those particles remain which have not settled. Since all particles of same size have the same velocity, the particles of given size, if they exist at any level, are in the same concentration as at the beginning of the sedimentation. In short, all particles smaller than a particular size will be present at a depth h in the same degree of concentration as at the beginning. All particles larger than size d would have settled below at that depth. So, how to prepare this suspension? Soil sample passing through 75 micron is analyzed by this method. About 50 grams of oven dried soil is weighted accurately and transferred to the evaporating dish. For proper dispersion of soil, about 100 ml of dispersing solution is added to the evaporating dish to cover the soil. IS 2720 Part 4 recommends the use of dispersing solution obtained after adding 33 grams of sodium hexametaphosphate and 7 grams of sodium carbonate to distilled water to make 1 liter of solution. After adding dispersing solution to soil, the mixture warmed gently for about 10 minutes. The material from evaporating dish is transferred to the cup of mechanical stirrer. The distilled water is added to make the cup about 3/4 full. The suspension is stirred for about 10 to 15 minutes. The stirring period may be more for clay soil. The suspension is then washed through 75 micron sieve using jet of distilled water. The part of the suspension which has passed through the sieve is used for sedimentation analysis. The specimen is taken into the jar and enough water is added to make 1000 ml of suspension. If the soil contains calcium compounds and organic matters, it should be pre-treated before adding the dispersion agent. If WD is the weight of the particles per ml of suspension at depth h after time t and Ws is the weight of particle per ml of suspension at the beginning of the sedimentation, the percentage finer than the size d denoted by Stokes law, which is given by %n is equal to Wd upon Ws into 100. Here are some limitations. There are two methods to do so. First one is pipette method and second one is hydrometer method. So starting with limitations of sedimentation analysis, the Stokes law is applicable when liquid is infinite. The presence of walls of jar affect the result. In Stokes law, it has been assumed that only one sphere settles and there is no interference from the other sphere. In the sedimentation analysis, as many particles settle simultaneously, there is some interference. The sedimentation analysis cannot be used for the particles larger than 0.2 mm, as the turbulent condition invalidates the Stokes law. Specific gravity of solids differ from particles to particles. Therefore, use of average value of G is likely to introduce an source of error. The sedimentation analysis is not applicable for particles smaller than 0.2 micron because Brownian movement takes place and the particles do not settle as per Stokes law. This method cannot be used for chalky soils. The sedimentation analysis gives the particle size in terms of equivalent diameter, which is less than the particle size given by sieve analysis. Since the soil particles are not perfectly spherical, the equivalent diameter is the diameter of sphere which falls with the same velocity as the actual particle. Moving further to grading of soil.